Buen dias, de nada. The American hobo. Drifters riding the rails for free transport to find work or return home during economically difficult times. Hobos numbered in the hundreds of thousands back in the day, and it became a lifestyle for many. They would risk their lives on the freight and cargo trains across the USA, and it's a subculture that many thought would die out, but actually it persists amongst a few modern day self-proclaimed vagabonds, a community of people who reject capitalism and the grinding rat race. That sees ya! So here I am, thousands of miles south of the US of A, and I'm presented with a train network that won't stop nagging me thoughts. Truth be told, I've been fascinated with train hopping ever since I got rid of my bike all the way back in June. Whenever I've had Wi-Fi, I've often found myself down a YouTube black hole of train hopping videos, which are usually prefaced by a warning, don't do it. But then they go and make it look so exciting. Also, my bike was actually called Ho Bootleg, so it's got to be a sign from the heavens, right? Little baby Jesus telling us to do dangerous stuff. Don't listen to the voices. So I'm purposely heading towards this freight train network in northern Argentina to see what I can find. It is my intention to try and hitchhike on the back of a train. I mean, as a change to trying to flag down cars. And I understand the multitude of risks, but I just keep getting drawn back to it. I've been doing plenty of research, like tons of research, and to be honest, it would feel like a bit of a waste if I didn't at least try. So I'm going to explore the rail towns in northern Argentina, see what I can find. If the opportunity presents itself, then I'll take it, but if not, or it's too dangerous, or there's no trains, then at least I'll have scratched an itch. So without further ado, few notes on Argentina. I went to the shop the other night to buy a bottle of beer to have with me tea, and you're not allowed to buy a bottle of beer unless you return an empty glass. So it's like a returns policy, but they'll not allow you to buy a bottle without one. So how do you start the process? How do you get your first bottle? It was ridiculous. Secondly, I don't know if you remember, but there was a financial crisis in Argentina around about 2007, 2008, and it seems that financial crisis, there's still some fallout from it, because you can't go to any bank machine without there being a massive queue that takes like over an hour to get there. And it's reminiscent of like the pictures that you saw on the news during the Argentinian financial crisis. And even when you get to the bank machine, right, you're only allowed to take like a small amount of money out, so like round about 20 quid, and it comes in hundreds of notes, so you've got a massive wad of like thousands, so it's really difficult to work out like how much it is, like the exchange rate and what you're buying food wise and stuff. But every time you take out that small amount of 20 quid, like you're charged a tenner on top of that, so you're charged half of what you're taking out, and like loads of places only take cash. So you can't pay on a card, so you're having to go to the bank machine 5 or 6 times just to take out a decent amount of money, and each one of those 5 or 6 times you're being charged a tenner. Like, it's rinsing us. And in other news, which will make certain people very happy, I've been struggling food wise in South America, especially. Like, it's every now and then I'll have a decent meal, but I'm always eating chips, like ordering chips in a cafe or a restaurant, because like places are just so meat heavy in every country I've been to, apart from, I mean, Europe was fine. So I saw an Argentinian, and Argentina is very famous for its steaks. I saw a review for a really good Argentinian steak restaurant, and it was right next to my hotel, so I went, I had steak, and it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever eaten in my life. I couldn't help myself. The first time I've had meat in 8 years. It was very expensive, but it was just unreal, perfectly cooked. So weirdly, if you feel like you've won some kind of moral victory, or you can finally say I told you so, there you go. Won't be happening again, at least I don't think it'll be happening again, but that'll put a smile on your face. I'm still searching for active freight trains. There has been some like rail tracks around here, and they quite often skirt the road, that run parallel to the road that you're travelling on. A lot of it's in disrepair, but some of it has been, like, you can see it's in a decent state of repair, and I've seen a couple of passenger trains, but I think I'm still a bit too far north for freight trains, so I'm going to continue to go south. And this hotel here, there's a beautiful church in the background there, but there's a pool which I'm dipping my feet in and watching the world's most stupid colony of wasps. As I mentioned before, a lot of these train tracks are disused, and that map of the rail network I was looking at, it doesn't necessarily mean that the rails are in function. So coming to these admittedly lovely Argentinian towns isn't necessarily a guarantee of finding any freight trains. I suppose one advantage of these disused train tracks is that it's a bit of a shortcut through town. Right, I'm getting on a proper recce the day. So I'm in this nice little town called Salta, and I'm actually in a lot of pain. So I was at an Airbnb a couple of days ago, and there was some like shoddy wooden steps, steep stairs outside the apartment, and I fell right through them. Now the owner of the Airbnb was actually outside, because I called him round because I locked myself in the apartment. Like, the door handle came off and I couldn't get out. It was knee hot water, so I was whinging at him. He came round, said he couldn't fix it. He left, and then I left like about 1 minute later, and he was still outside in the car when I fell down these steps. I'm sure I've cracked a rib, hurt the inside of my arm. Like, it really hurts, and I'm restricted in my movement, like the whole top half of my body's knacking. Anyway, I'm gonna hire a bicycle today. There's a train track that runs right through this town, and I'm going on a hunt for a freight train yard. Apparently there's trains that leave this town full of like rock and minerals and lithium ore or something like that. There's got to be a freight yard somewhere, so I'm going to look for it. Right, so I found a train yard pretty quickly. These gates don't look as if they've been opened in a long time. It's hard to tell, like, whether there's anything going on in there. There's a couple of people milling about, but also there's a police officer there milling about in the background watching it. You know what it is? There is a train there with lights on. Right, so I spoke to that police officer, and she said that it was actually a working train station. I just had to come around the corner to come in. So I'm here, there's a passenger train, and there's some cargo trains. Loads of people milling about, workers and whatnot. So I'm just gonna loiter here and hope that nobody thinks I'm suspicious, recording into my phone. I'll just say I'm interested in trains. See, there's ladders on the side there for getting up onto the carriages, but these particular carriages have got a closed roof. Like, they're not an open top. So there's no way I'd be able to jump on that. Unless I opened one of the doors and got in. But then again, I haven't got a clue what's inside, or how easy it is to open the doors. And here's the back end of the train yard, where the trains come out in the direction that I want to go, i.e. south. I think this is going to be much harder than I thought it was going to be. There's no freight train schedules online, so you don't know when they're going to leave, which means waiting about for hours, possibly days. I'll probably have to get on at night, so the train would have to leave at night so I don't get caught. I can't really get on in the train yard because there's security and people milling about, which means that when the train comes out of the yard, it would have to be going slow enough for us to jump on. The carriages would have to be appropriate, so I need somewhere to sit or get into the actual carriage itself. I couldn't get on that train there, it's just boxed off. What am I doing? The thing is how long am I prepared to wait in this town for a train that's get-onable? Maybe this was a stupid idea. And the thing is, the people who actually do train hopping are like homeless most of the time, so they've got the time to be able to sit about and wait for trains. I don't. I mean, I do, but I'm not prepared to use the rest of my time waiting or visiting other interesting places. So that's another plan down the Swanee. I was going to get rid of the whole video, like with the hobo bit at the beginning and that, because like, what's the point in having a video if it doesn't have a theme running through it? Like starting something but not finishing it. But then again, I've got form on that, haven't I? I've just sneezed, right? But I held it in, so I was like, and obviously the pressure's got nowhere to go except back inside your body. And as I sneezed, I felt my rib crack, like as if it re-cracked. And it absolutely knacks, but like it's one of those ow, where it makes you laugh because it hurts so much, like a funny bone ow. I've done some internal damage. Ow. Ow. I don't know what to do. It's dusk here in Salta, and I'm sitting in the plaza, like the town square, which is grassy, palm trees. And I would say that every single town I've passed through, I can't think of one which hasn't had one, no matter how big or small. Every single town I passed through has got at least one town square in it that people come to on an evening, through the day as well, but they come on an evening. There's kids playing, there's a park there, there's like couples come to sit and canoodle, people walking their dogs, old people come to socialise, and it's just lovely. And it made us think that we haven't got that in the UK. I know the weather plays a part because it's got to be like tolerable to come out and sit on an evening, but even the town centres in England, they're just dead now, and well, now the reasons why. But one of the most lovely things about travelling, especially when you're a bit lonely, is you can come to a place like this and be around people, and you're guaranteed that people are just going to be sitting having a nice time. It's just dead peaceful and nice. And I honestly can't think of a place that I've been to that hasn't got one of these since I left the UK. It's amazing, really. What a wonderful thing. But yeah, I've left Salta, come 4 hours south. I need to get a shift on. And I'm in a lovely little place called Cafayate, which is a winemaking town, apparently the best wine in all of Argentina. And it's the first day of spring, Feliz Primavera, which means that the grapevines are all brand new, ready for this season's wine. And I'm going for a hike back up into these Andean foothills to see a waterfall. But after that, because I need to get a wriggle on, and because I couldn't hitchhike on the back of a train, that plan came off the rails a bit. Huh? Yeah? I'm going to have to get back to doing what I do best. Mizen lifts off strangers. Right, so I got to the waterfall and I'm not allowed to go and see it without being chaperoned like a toddler. Little desk beside the path that runs down to the waterfall. 3 men sitting there. No, you can't go there alone. Oh, I just want to walk to the waterfall. No, you need to have a guide. Why? Lots of accidents. I'm a human adult. I just want to walk and see the waterfall. No, you must have a guide. Okay, so if I want to go and sit at the waterfall for 3 or 4 hours and just relax, I need to have somebody that I don't know sitting beside us, awkwardly. Yes. Ah!